Now, the United States has raised the possibility of higher tariffs on South Korean goods, triggering concern in Seoul. President Donald Trump's comments have rattled trade ties between the two allies. The proposed increase would affect automobiles, lumber and pharmaceuticals. If implemented, tariffs would rise from 15% to 25%. Trump accused South Korea of failing to fully implement a trade agreement with Washington. He said South Korea's legislature had not enacted the deal, prompting the tariff threat. Well, the U.S. administration has not yet issued formal notices to enforce the higher tariffs.
Our trade deals are very important to America. In each of these deals, we have acted swiftly to reduce our tariffs in line with the transaction agreed to. We, of course, expect our trading partners to do the same. South Korea's legislature is not living up to its deal with the United States. President Lee and I reached a great deal for both countries on July 30th, 2025, and we reaffirmed these terms while I was in Korea on October 29th, 2025. Why hasn't the Korean legislature approved it?
Well, South Korea held emergency talks after President Trump's tariff warning. Seoul said it had not been informed in advance about the proposed hike. The government stressed it remains committed to the trade deal already agreed with Washington. Well, that agreement was reached in principle last July, when South Korea pledged up to $350 billion in U.S. investments. It was finalized after Trump met South Korean President Lee Jae-myung in October. Well, since then, the deal has remained stuck in legal uncertainty in South Korea. Seoul's presidential office has said parliamentary approval is not required, calling it a memorandum of understanding. However, the ruling party now says it will work with the opposition to fast-track 5 pending bills linked to the investment plan. Officials say these bills could be merged into one law before being sent for committee review and a final vote. South Korea's trade minister is expected to travel to Washington for talks with the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Seoul believes any tariff hike would only take effect after formal U.S. administrative steps. Well, the stakes are high, as the auto sector accounts for more than a quarter of South Korea's exports to the U.S. Shares of South Korea's 2 top automakers fell in early trade following Trump's warning before later recovering. Well, South Korea is among America's largest sources of foreign goods, exporting about $132 billion worth in 2024. Higher tariffs could hurt exporters and undo earlier tariff cuts under the trade pact. Well, this is not the first time tariffs have been used as a pressure tool during President Trump's second term. The latest warning adds to ongoing trade tensions as Washington continues to use tariffs to push its demands. Attention now turns to how South Korea will respond. The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Kerry Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.